So hello everybody, welcome to our program. Today we're going to talk about very interesting region because we know quite little about all the depths of the situation in different countries of this region, as long as we know about the so-called global south. But it's interesting to talk about the Latin American region. That's why my guest today is Estefania Meléndez, a political advisor, former diplomat, international analyst. Welcome to our program.
Thank you very much, Senya. I'm very glad for your invitation.
So hopefully I will have a chance to find out some maybe insights of what's going on in the region. But I would like to start with the very latest events that we followed in our media. A month ago, there took place a summit in Brussels that was held there with the participation of 33 countries of Latin America and Caribbeans. Were you surprised by the results of this summit and the resolution, and in what way?
Yes, Enya, actually, this was a very important summit between the Latin American countries and the EU, the CELAC countries. And it was a lot of expectation for this summit. After 8 years, they didn't make this summit. And actually, the relationship between Latin American countries and Europe were quite tense for many years. So it was a lot of expectation and, of course, expectation around the topic of Ukraine, of the Russian aggression to Ukraine, because the region has remained, even when in its majority, they are not agree with that, but they have been, let's say, kept into a neutral position. Mm-hmm. So one of the main interests of Europe, among all the other, of course, with the region, was to engage more the region with the support to Ukraine. It was a lot of, let's say, a bit scandals about that, because even some countries refused President Zelenskyy will attend the meeting with a speech. And, well, to put more or less in context and start in the country, let's remind that Latin American region, it has 3 dictatorships that are very allied with Russia. And Russia has, let's say, worked very deep into these countries. And we saw, again, how those countries and Russia has the power of decision in the region, which is actually very worrying.
I want to add the information from the media about these events, just what you said right now. Nicaragua, Cuba and Venezuela opposed the fact that the summit declaration condemned Russia's aggression in Ukraine, and as a result, Russia was not mentioned in the text of the document, and the forum participants only expressed their concern about the war. So my question is, why 3 countries among 33 countries are so influential, so that all the region of Latin America spread the mutual decision on very important topics that affect the world globally? And what is the essence of this policy of active neutrality? What its motives? How do you see it? 2 in 1.
Yes, I mean, this is what gives you an idea how complex is the region. Having these 3 dictatorships that actually violate human rights, even Venezuela, my country of origin, they have an investigation open in the International Crime Court for committing crimes against humanity. This is the only country in the region with this, as Russia has with Ukraine. So it is very worried that they have such a powers of influence in all the region. But let me put you in context that also Latin America and the politics and there are kind of a pendular politics. Right now, this pendulum is like going more to the left and more. So this is not very good, actually, especially we have leave as Venezuelan from democratic forces. These changes have been impacting. And now it seems that this dictatorship is taking more influence into the other countries and also led by the political changes in other countries as Brazil, as Colombia, and also the influence of Mexico, for example. As you may know, they also call themselves like neutral, and they have even proposed this talks and President Lula, but these talks more into the direction of the plan proposed by China. And there is a very important point, Senator, to understand the region. The region actually has been the region more impacted by the pandemic of the COVID-19. In terms of economic, they have suffered a lot. So after that, you have to remind how Russia and China gained a lot of influence during the pandemic with their so-called diplomatic vaccine, no? But also the interests of China are playing a very important role in the region, and also by the fact that the United States has lost a lot of influence also in the region, and as also Europe. That's why this summit was very important for Europe to try to engage and to try to construct their relationship with the region in this term that have been practically in oblivion for many years. But in the end, the European Union is the main economic partner, but as a bloc with Latin America. But I believe there is a lot of work to do. And I believe that also Ukraine and their interests have to engage also more with the region.